Do you want to get better at games? Here are 7 simple tricks every player should try.
We're not gonna lie to you, being good at games is hard. Anyone that promises to miraculously change your KD ratio with a few subtle suggestions is probably stretching the truth. But while there's nothing quite as good as practice for improving your stats, there are some clever hacks you can try to give yourself an edge.
In this video, we're going to be looking at how things like posture, mindset, and even diet can affect the way you play. Plus, we'll be showing you some quick exercises to help improve your reactions and show you some psychological tricks to make you think differently about losing.
If you're already great at games, congratulations! You'll already know some of these tips. Others, though, might make you even better. But if the thought of playing competitively brings you out in a cold sweat, don't worry. These straightforward tweaks will help you get the most out of your games and hopefully will provide you with a fresh perspective on competitive play. It's meant to be fun.
Here are 7 simple tricks that make everyone better at games. When you watch esports, do you ever see the athletes reclining back in their chairs like we do when we're playing at home? Very rarely. Professional gamers sit up straight and focus on the screen. Good posture usually results in good performance.
For best performance, you should sit with your knees at 90-degree angles and your back straight, ideally at a 90-degree angle as well. This isn't an especially comfortable position, so you should vary occasionally to give your muscles a break. Your eyes should be level with the top third of your screen, and your neck should be straight, not craned forward.
There's an excellent video on this featuring examples and loads of other esports ergonomics tips by Frank Mars of The Sandbox. Just hit the link below to have a look. Seriously, give this one a try. Just by sitting up straight and aligning your neck, you're telling your brain that you mean business. It's like a power stance for gamers.
And if you want to go one step further, you can even monitor your posture by using a camera to record how you're sitting, and even practice by seeing how long you can balance a book on your head. It might make you look like you're attending a finishing school for young ladies and gentlemen, but it'll make it impossible to slouch. To perform at the very best of your ability, you need to listen to what your body is telling you. This may be as simple as shifting your position when you're uncomfortable, or actually going to the toilet when you need to. If you're concentrating on holding your bladder, you're not concentrating on the game. This also extends to what you eat and drink.
Your body is a complex machine, and it needs the right fuel to function properly. Drinking alcohol will slow down your nervous system, and taking on board too much sugar can make your insulin levels fluctuate, making you jittery and erratic.
Excessive caffeine can have a similar effect. Gallons of energy drinks and coffee might see you through an all-night gaming session, but caffeine increases your heart rate and agitates your nervous system. This is great at keeping you awake, but not for precision movements and reaction times.
We're not suggesting you cut this stuff out altogether. Gaming is meant to be fun after all. But if you really want to win, cutting out sugary snacks in favour of things like grapes, nuts and beef jerky will have a beneficial effect. And it'll make less of a mess of your keyboard too.
And finally, if you're struggling for inspiration, or if you're just peckish, there are some links in the description for some slow-release energy gaming snacks that won't make you turn into a jittery mess. We're all familiar with the light-dark meter you get at the start of a game. It's often the point that we have to get up and close the curtains because the stupid daylight is ruining everything. But by following these instructions, you're often making life more difficult for yourself.
Obviously, those sliders in games are to help you get the best experience aesthetically. We're not suggesting you play a sunny, washed-out version of Amnesia. But if you're focusing on performance rather than experience, then tweaking the settings can make a big difference.
If you're playing an FPS, for example, try adjusting the settings for greater contrast and clearer colours. Make everything as obvious as possible. The game will almost certainly look worse, but it'll be easier to play. Try tweaking your movement sensitivity too. Take the time to test and alter accordingly. Eventually, the settings will match your needs, like a wonderfully tailored bespoke suit.
Also, turn off the music. If you're listening to the soundtrack, you're not concentrating on the game, and adding in your own soundtrack is even more distracting. Instead, turn down the music and up the sound effects. This will help you focus and improve your reactions.
These tweaks aren't conducive to the best narrative experience. Please don't play Resi with the music off, but if you're struggling to get past a hard bit, stop and make the settings work for you. This seems like an obvious one, but it's often hard to admit we're struggling at a game. You complete the campaign on hard, decide you're pretty good, then go online and get smashed. In fact, until you've seen how the pros play, you might not even know you're bad. You've got no basis for comparison. But if you push through that sad moment of realization, your game will immediately get better.
There's a reason these people are the best in the world, and even if you don't understand everything they do, watching them in action will still help. And with the prevalence of streams, videos on demand, and esports events, there's no reason not to.
You can steal simple tricks that professional players use. It doesn't have to be impossible high-end combos or no-scope headshots. Just learning where to go on the map and which power-ups to grab will make all the difference. Be honest with yourself. It's unlikely that you'll envisage every single scenario, so don't even try. Watch the experts instead. They probably did exactly the same thing when they were learning.
The other thing you can do that is even more effective is challenge yourself. Don't be afraid to play with people who are better than you. Losing will suck, but as long as you learn why, your time won't be wasted.
It's easier and often more enjoyable to play with people with the same level of skill as you. But if you dare to dream a little bigger and try taking on better players, you'll have to get better. The first few tries will probably be horrible, but there's no better way to remember an effective strategy than if you were the victim of it. And we'll talk about the psychology of dealing with losing in my next point. If you want to win, you need to get in the zone. That's a very pithy way of saying something quite complicated, but until you accept that your mindset has to change, you're never going to get better. Luckily, there are some simple ways of tricking your brain into helping.
Your mental state while gaming is hugely important, and there are a few ways you can prepare yourself. Things like breathing exercises and meditation will help, more on that in a bit, but also there are a few psychological tricks you can employ to minimize the power of defeat in your mind.
If you scoffed at the idea of meditating, don't. Legendary Street Fighter player Diego practices Makosu meditation, which he says calms his mind in the heat of battle. Even the simple act of mindfulness, focusing on what's happening right now rather than what has happened or what might happen, will help you focus. And it's just as important to learn to control your breathing. If you're holding your breath during the tense moments, your body isn't operating properly. There's a full guide to this in the description, but the short version is that if you breathe from your diaphragm rather than your chest, you'll stay calmer and perform better. This also helps prevent gamer rage, which, let's be honest, we're all prone to.
You should also consider your mental state before you play. If you're feeling tense or frustrated, now might not be the best time to try and reach Ultra Platinum in Street Fighter V. The beauty of gaming is there are titles for every occasion, so if you're not in the zone, there's no shame in playing something a little bit more relaxed.
But what happens if it all goes wrong and you lose anyway? Well, the trick here is to prepare in advance and fool your brain into thinking that you have nothing to lose. To do this, you need to think about what it feels like to lose, why it makes you feel bad, and then find ways to diffuse those thoughts. If you're worried your friends will laugh at you, for instance, think of a way of dealing with that without sounding like a sore loser.
Kiss my ass, Master Claytop.
Put yourself back in control. Each solution will be different, but by just considering why losing annoys you and how you can prevent it, you're already on the road to being better. Gaming quite obviously isn't as physically demanding as many outdoor sports, but it does place certain strains on the body. Often, we're sat in the same position for extended periods of time in situations we find very stressful. That's why you should make your body as prepared to play games as it can be.
Before you play a big match, take the time to stop, stretch, and loosen yourself up. You should really be doing this after finishing a game as well. There are loads of great videos on YouTube about this, and we've popped some links below.
As well as improving your general performance, another reason for doing these is to prevent RSI. Games require a lot of quick, repetitive actions, and warming your body up each time makes perfect sense. You do it for most other sporting activities, so why not games?
There are also some ways to get better at games when you're not even playing. Exercises that strengthen your hand and wrist muscles will improve your reactions and help prevent your hands from getting tired.
Something like squeezing a tennis ball 10 times, 3 times a day, will help you build strength in your hands. And something as simple as thumb opposition, squeezing your thumbs and fingers together as hard as you comfortably can, and alternating, will help strengthen the most important digit in a player's arsenal. Check out the description below for even more suggestions. Finally, we come to practice. The more you play, the better you'll get. But it's not enough just to keep doing the same thing you've always done. You've got to practice right.
Now, this is almost the opposite of what we said earlier about testing yourself against better opponents. By setting up practice sessions on lower difficulties, for example, you can focus on bringing together all the tips we've covered in this video.
This is a chance to apply the stuff we've talked about, things like breath, posture, and mindset. By playing on lower difficulties or repeating sections you can learn to do all those extra things at the same time. In fact, this in itself might feel like a form of meditation, and it's another way of preparing your brain.
You should look for specific gaps in your abilities and focus on those. If you're learning a fighting game, for example, do every move 10 times in a row. First on the left, then on the right. And if you fluff it up, start again. Trust me, your later self will thank you for it.
And finally, remember that all of these tips aren't just for people aiming to win the Dota International. In fact, they don't need to be used competitively at all. The next time you're stuck on Cuphead or struggling with a boss, pause, practice some of these tricks, and try again. And remember to give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this, and subscribe to Logitech G for more tech tips and weekly videos. Thanks for watching!